Happy holidays. Good morning and welcome to the Community Review on Hot 92.3. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host this morning. Merry Christmas, whatever holiday you are celebrating. I hope that you're with your family, your friends, or that you're out doing something wonderful for someone else. Now, talk about a group of amazing people who are out doing something wonderful. How about 31 of the country's top voiceover pros getting together to raise money for children? They gathered together to record "Twas the Night Before Christmas." On the phone with me, I have some of these amazing talents who are going to introduce themselves, and welcome to the Community Review. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, how's it going?
Now, you know, it's not often that people in the general audience will get a chance to actually hear an interview with voices that they're very familiar with. So why don't each one of you introduce yourselves and then say where they might have heard your voice before?
All right. Well, I'll start here first. My name's Joe Cipriano. And let's see, I have been the voice of the Fox network for past 20-something years, where I would do things like, "Sunday, it's an all-new Simpsons on Fox." Or over at CBS, where I do things like, "Monday, it's 2.5 Men, only CBS." Uh-huh. And a few other things here and there, Deal or No Deal, things like that.
I recognize that voice.
And then Stu Herrera.
Hi. I always draw a blank when I'm asked this question, but yeah, I've worked for Fox Sports Net for a long time, saying things like, Sunday on Fox Sports Net. Or I've also been on their other sports networks. Currently, I'm working for the Ellen DeGeneres Show, and I introduce the upcoming show. It's called A Billboard, and run down the list of guests and stuff that's going to be happening on the show. And I say, "An all-new Ellen starts now."
Very cool, Stu.
Love that. Love that. But wait until you hear Bob. Oh, yeah. My gosh.
Yeah, but let me think for a minute. I do a few things in front of the microphone.
Oh, my gosh. Well, hello, Senor Pig.
What's going on? I also do Speedy Gonzales.
Oh, you Speedy.
Hola, hombre. Feliz Navidad. Yeah, I'm the wacky tune person of the bunch.
Oh, what a fun job that must be! Oh, my gosh!
I have to tell you, to quote my buddy Jack Angel, it beats working for a living.
There you go.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, now I know there's a lady in the bunch.
Well, actually, that's my wife, Ann Cipriano.
She sounds just like you.
Ann actually.
That's amazing. She's good.
Ann was called away to a phone call because we're working on some things here for the Chase Child Life program at Matel Childrens Hospital UCLA. And that's why we all originally came together, the 31 of us who do voiceovers. You know, we're all kind of separate from one another. Back in the day, I might bump into Bob at a session or bump into Stu at a session at a studio somewhere in Hollywood. We might even see each other multiple times a day. But with modern technology and the way voiceovers are done now, for the most part, we're all in our independent little studios, little satellite studios, and we never get together. So the idea originally was, you know, let's do a cool project where we can bring together as many of these top voiceover talents as we can to work on one project. And we thought, okay, let's do a Christmas thing. And I was talking to Ann about it, and she said, well, you know, you can probably do this and do it for charity.
Well, he told me the idea, and I thought, gee, it sounds so much fun. It sounds great. But I kept thinking there's got to be something maybe a little bit bigger and better you can do with it. This time of year is all about kids and giving. So let's see if we can figure out some way that this project could actually benefit children. So Joe said to me, yeah, good, but...
Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, and who, what, where, when, all that stuff. And I happen to volunteer at Matel Children's Hospital. I've worked in pediatrics for the past 2 years, volunteering and playing with the kids. And I just looked at him and I said, well, why not UCLA? And that's where this idea started.
Because this is Christmas morning, everybody is going to get to enjoy this wonderful story. But I understand that a few days ago, you actually performed this live, a few of you?
Yes, we did. We went, and it was fantastic. They really try to get as many kids home as possible this time of year. But it's obviously impossible for every child to get home at Christmas. So we thought, whoever is there, let's see what we can do to cheer the kids up. And it was really a beautiful, beautiful day. I think many times when you volunteer with children or in any kind of volunteering effort, the people who are giving sometimes get more out of it than the people who are receiving. So I think it meant a lot to all the people, the voiceover artists who were able to be there as well.
Hear, hear.
So, Joe, tell me, how was it working with all of your peers? Because I know that the 31 people assembled are definitely the creme de la creme of the business, and that had to have been amazing. And has that ever been done? It's kind of a We Are the World of the voiceover group.
It really was, yeah. To get everybody together, and you know, the interesting thing is we did it from our individual studios, and everybody sent over their parts, which were then put together. Then we would play it for everyone and get some input from them on that. But to bring everybody together to work on this, it adds to the community of voiceover, the acting community. And unfortunately, in our field right now, we don't get together that much, as I said earlier. So it was kind of something that we could do together and have a lot of fun with it. And then, you know, we're scattered all over the country. We had about 20 of us showed up at the hospital at the Chase Child Life program at Matel Childrens Hospital UCLA back on Wednesday. And just seeing everybody and being able to work together, read stories to the kids. We broke off in individual little groups. Like Ann said, it means more to us, I think, than to the kids. But you should have seen their eyes, you know, especially when Bob would do his Porky Pig, and all of us would break off and we'd do a little bit of a reading, and then someone would do sound effects. It was a fun thing.
How amazing. And I guess we have to give some big props here to the Universal Music Group, who donated the music licensing fees to the cause, correct?
Yeah, that was really amazing. And our producer, John Massacre, who brought in Universal Music Group and talked to them about that. It's called Killer Tracks. They donated all of the music license-free, which was amazing. And the track is getting played on radio stations across the country. It's also on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Primetime Voices for Children. And that's where people can go to hear the track. You can also buy it on iTunes and CD Baby and all over the internet, and make a donation towards the hospital as well.
So part of the proceeds from purchasing the download will actually go towards the Chase Child Life program?
Yeah, 100% of everything that we take in, either from sales of the track itself or from the donations that are coming in at our Facebook page, all of it goes to the Chase Child Life program at Matel Children's Hospital at UCLA.
Yeah, 100% of the proceeds will go to the program. And something I think people should understand is that UCLA, the Matel Children's Hospital there, is not just for Southern California. It actually benefits families across the country and even worldwide. The Matel Children's Hospital at UCLA is one of the, most successful liver transplant programs in the country, and particularly on the West. So people come there, not just families come there, not just from Southern California, but from across the country and from around the world.
Now, do we see this idea possibly catching on for some other things? Because I'm not sure, but I believe that this is the first time I've ever heard of a We Are the World of the voiceover world.
I guess so. I'll let Bob and Stu talk about that a little bit.
I wouldn't say no to anything, Joe. That may have been one of the fastest responses you got from me on anything.
That's for sure.
When I got the call and the invitation to read on this, and I said sure. And I surprised myself, because within half an hour I had read it and sent it off to him. So sometimes it can be a hectic existence as a voiceover person, and like a lot of people, the holidays seem to sneak up on you. At least they do on me. And so for me this year, this project was kind of a real savior for me, and it really jump-started that holiday, that Christmas spirit feeling for me. So if if we were going to do something like this again, I know I'd be on board. Bob?
No, I love the idea. And, what started out as, maybe a little labor of love, if this can springboard to something else, the voiceover community, I think you guys will all agree that it's one of the most generous, nice group of actors in the world. Generous, just not just charitable generous, but generous to each other. And I was, just pleased as punch to be asked to be amongst this amazingly talented group of people. And, hey, if there's more in us, let's do it.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, here's another question for all of you. How about a little piece of advice? Since we've got some pros sitting right here, it's Christmas morning, let's give the audience a little gift. There's a lot of people out there in the audience who are trying to either succeed in broadcasting or voiceover work, one good piece of advice from each one of them about a great book to read, a great class to take, or something to do to help them get to where they want to be so that one day maybe they could be like you.
And, we're also coming from different genres of voiceover, with Bob working primarily in animation and that very creative side of it. He works with a group of people. He doesn't normally get to maybe work with people who do promos like Stu and I, or maybe narration or things like that. And I would think anybody that wants to get into voiceover, you have to kind of decide, all right, what is it that I really want to do? Do I want to work doing promos for network television, or maybe I want to work on the air and radio and be a radio personality, or I would like to do animation like the great Bob Bergen. And so deciding what it is that you want to do and then making a commitment to it. I think that anytime you have a goal, you need to work at it continuously. And coming up now at the beginning of the year, a lot of people will reassess where they are and go, I really do want to do this, whatever it is. And if it's voiceover, make a deal with yourself that you're going to work on this every single day. Even if you take an hour a day and work on reading copy out of the newspaper or out of the magazine, or watching television and writing down what what the promos are, sending out letters to agents trying to get representation, getting into study, getting into classes. I know Bob teaches some amazing animation classes. We have the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab at the Screen Actors Guild that we're all involved with. And all of those seminars and workshops are absolutely free to the public. So just learn about it, make a commitment that you're going to do it every day. That's always what I say.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm
tenacity. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I'm gonna jump, and then I got to run, guys. But I was gonna say you got to want it more than anybody else. It's got to be a passion. Those of us who make a living at this, none of this happened by accident. We all continue. I know how hard all of us work at staying in this business and continuing with our career. If you want it worse than anything else in your life, if the idea of competition doesn't bother you, and you got to love the journey. You got to love the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is a wonderful business to be in, but it's one of the most difficult businesses to be in. But if that doesn't bug you, then you are right for this business. Become the best you can possibly be. Don't say the word no, and just enjoy the journey. And on that note, I have to run, guys.
All right, Speedy.
Gee, would you be saying something when you leave, Bob? What is it that you would say about that being it, or that being all, or
probably that's all, folks.
All right, Bob.
That's what it would be. Yes.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Bob. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Bob.
Okay, so I think Stu.
I don't know how you follow that.
Yes,
I don't know how I follow that,
but
I'd second everything that these guys just said. I thought that I fell into it because I come from a broadcasting background, and it never even really occurred to me to really put forth a big effort to get into voiceover. And it didn't happen entirely by accident, but one day I found myself being employed in movie trailers. And I kind of scratched my head and I said, well, how did I get here? And I realized, well, Stu, you've been reading in front of a microphone every day for the past 10 years. And it suddenly occurred to me like that, it doesn't faze me. So I'm in this sort of a new arena here, and I'm reading this copy for folks I've never seen before, never met before, and I relished it. It didn't bother me one bit, and I realized I'd been unconsciously training for this, nearly my entire life. And once I had that moment of clarity, then it was easy to see, well, yeah, it's true what they say. You've got to read copy every day. You've got to pursue this with a single-mindedness. Tenacity is what it's all about. And everything that these guys have said is true. I'll steer you to a couple of books that I found very helpful. One of them was called Word of Mouth by Susan Blue. And another one is Secrets of Voiceover Success by Joan Baker. And most of the guys that are in voiceover are mentioned in either or both of those books. And they're just great resources. I love both of them.
So, Ann, why don't you tell me a little bit about your background?
I have always been a behind-the-scenes person. I worked in news. So I was a TV producer and a writer. I am not a voiceover artist. I was just the one who said, hey, let's help out the kids at UCLA Hospital.
That's right. Let's do this for the kids.
But I'm really happy to be here. And really, I know Joan Baker's book, and it's great. And I think that was a perfect mention by Stu.
For sure.
Very good. Well, thank you all. I hope that we have given the struggling or up-and-coming voiceover talents or someone that might even think about pursuing this some valuable information. That was your present under the Christmas tree from the voiceover world. And again, it's called Twas the Night Before Christmas, a special audio project featuring 31 legendary voiceover pros to raise money for the Chase Child Life Program at Matel Childrens Hospital in UCLA. This was an amazing project. I don't care when the holidays are over. There's not a child in the world that wouldn't love to hear this on mom's iPad or iPod at night before they go to sleep all year long. It's something that you can enjoy whenever you want that Christmas feeling. Play this on your iPad or your iPod, and it will bring back that warm feeling that we all have right now today on Christmas Day. Please go today and buy it. You've got CD Baby, Amazon, iTunes, and those donations, 100% of those proceeds are going right back to UCLA. So let's give all year long. Let's make this happen. And everybody on the phone, thank you so much for lending your voice to lift up the lives of others.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Merry Christmas.
We really appreciate it. Merry Christmas. And if you can make a donation, even if it's $10, just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Primetime Voices for Children. We really appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And now it's time for the very best part. Get ready, sit back, and enjoy 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads.
Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap.
When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter.
Away to the window I flew like a flash,
tore open the shutters and threw up the sash.
The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below.
When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer.
With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick.
More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came. And he whistled, and he shouted, and he called them by name.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen.
To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all.
As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky.
So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too.
And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof.
As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound.
He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot.
A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack.
His eyes, how they twinkled. His dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry.
His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow.
The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath.
He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly.
He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
A wink of his eye and a twist of his head
soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread.
He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work.
And filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk.
And laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose.
He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle.
But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all, a good night. That's all, folks.
I've got your Christmas wishes, your Christmas messages, some incredible Christmas music, and it's all coming up next on the Community Review, Hot 92.3. Merry Christmas.